You, Trupti madam. Guys, very good morning. Hope you all are with full of energy. So just type in PP. PP means pen and paper. You should be ready with pen and paper to take a lot of notes. So those who are ready with pen and paper, just type in PP quickly. I just need a quick answer. We are going to engage through chat box. This is now new learning. Okay, so make sure that you are adapted to new learning. Okay, thank you very much, guys. Almost 50 replies. Thanks a lot. Yep, that means you are all attentive. And I was listening to all the sessions. And it is just fantastic to see the energy of presenter as well as the energy of all the participants. So I'm extremely happy. I'm very thankful to DY Patil College, my own college. So I passed out from DY Patil Akurdi in 2005 from Mechanical Engineering branch. And I'm really very thankful to Kulkarni sir, Dr. Kulkarni, HOD, for inviting me for this session. Thank you to Principal Dr. Vadai for giving a lot of summary at the end of every presentation and asking very relevant questions. It just makes sense. Okay, thanks a lot, guys. Are you all ready? Are you all ready to go into what is design thinking? So I'm going to touch base two topics. Okay, quickly, I'm going to touch base two topics. I'm not going to bore you guys. The two important topics are design thinking and digital twin. Okay, so you can write down on your notebook design thinking and digital twin. Okay, so I'll just clarify why I made sure that you all are with pen and paper. I'll just clarify it. Even if we are moving into the digital society, our brains are not digital. Okay, so the thinking and writing is going to make sure that you are having a complete 360 learning experience. So this is going to be a tip from my side. Whenever you are in any webinar, any web kind of hosting, or whenever you are trying to learn something, even I made a lot of notes. You can see this. So when I was listening, I was making a lot of notes of the people what they are trying to convey. Okay, so make sure that you are connected to the subject uh, through your hand, through the writing skills. Okay, make sure that you write a lot. That is going to make you a differentiating factor, and it is going to make you a different person than anyone else out there as a competitor. Okay, is it making sense? So type in MS, make sense, so that you are going to take a lot of notes. Okay, is it making sense? Okay, thank you guys. I'm just loving this crowd. It's just fantastic to see the replies so quickly. Okay, so let's start. I'm going to share my screen. Only 4 or 5 slides are there. So don't leave the meeting. I'm not going to bore you. Okay, so I will just share a screen. Hmm. Okay, is it visible?
Yes, sir. It's appearing now.
Okay, yep, fine. Thank you, guys. So, yes, let's understand what is an organization. Okay, so we all are engineers.
Sir, it's loading. Is it loading?
Uh, it says you are presenting.
But
Just a
we
second.
cannot
I
see
will
the.
share a complete screen
Yes, sir.
to make
Yes, sir.
just a second. Instead of sharing just a presentation. Okay, so I'm sharing my screen now. Yes, I'm sharing my complete screen. Is it visible now?
Yes, yes. Now it is visible, sir. It is
Okay.
visible.
So we are going to talk about organization, okay, and which is an extreme important part of any engineer's professional life. Okay. So what is an organization? Organization will be divided in two functions. So it is not just related to industry. It is also related to educational system. It is also related to NGOs. So it doesn't matter even if you are earning profit or not, marketing is still going to be important for every single bit. Okay, so make sure that you're not getting confused about marketing and advertising. Marketing is all about adding values. Advertising is all about sending a one-way message. Marketing can be interactive. Okay, so make sure that you are not getting misjudged by this word. So there are going to be two functions: front end function and a back end function. So we have marketing, sales, operation as front end functions. Even a little bit of management can come as a front end function. And a back end function typically will be HR, finance, and R&D. R&D is always a cost associated to the company. R&D is never a profit function. It is always a cost function. Whereas only function which is a profit function is sales, that is revenue generation. Even operation involves a lot of cost. If you can avoid operations altogether and still add value to the customer, that will be a thing to do. That's why people do outsourcing. Okay? So that is something which you have to remember. So there are going to be front end functions and back end functions. And the industry 4.0, or you can just call it as the new way of manufacturing, the new way of delivering, the new way of providing solutions. Okay, so we are trying to understand very basics of the organization, and where can you apply all these things. That is the digital twin and design thinking. You can apply to every single department. You can apply design thinking to every single department. You can apply it to marketing. You can apply it to sales. You can even apply it to R&D. What do you mean by design thinking? So let's dig into it. So there are going to be two types of engineers. If you are just focusing on not focusing on marketing, HR, and finance. If you are an engineer, you are either going to be a product engineer or you are going to be an application engineer. So application engineer will be called as an operator. So basically, that guy is going to operate a system, a machine, a process, which is being decided by the management or higher priority engineers. Okay. Whereas a product engineer will be more connected to market, more connected to user. An application engineer will be more connected to the tool. Okay, so are you going to be a tool operator, or are you going to be a product engineer who is a key factor of solving customers' problem? That is something which you have to decide. Okay, so write down in your notebooks a very simple distinction: a product engineer and an application engineer. A product engineer will be always looking forward to provide a complete solution. So product engineer will always take help of an application engineer to get through the tools, so that he is fastly and with a cost-effective manner providing a solution. Is it clear? So type in clear if you are clear with organization functions, and type in clear if you are clear with what is a product engineer and what is an application engineer. Come on guys, quick. Clear? Yes. So this is not just applicable to mechanical guys. Okay, so even if I'm a mechanical engineer, I'm working in crash analysis domain, vehicle crash worthiness, safety system.
Sir, excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Hello.
Is
Yes.
my screen visible now?
Yes, now it is
Yeah.
visible.
Okay, fine, fine. Yeah. I got it. I got it. I just wanted to check the feedbacks. That's why I moved back. Okay, so let's move forward with first of our topic, which is design thinking, and this should come. You should look at it as a skill. In this sense, if you call it as a wide scope of you developing it. Okay, so skill is something which you develop. Say I'm very new to, let us imagine I'm very new to German language. Okay, so taking a lot of classes and practicing and making sure that I'm correcting myself, that comes under skill. I can eventually talk. Some guys may talk early, I may talk little late, but still I will be there. Okay, so let you guys understand the difference between skill and knowledge. Okay, so you have to make sure that you are skillful At the same time, you have to make sure that you are knowledgeable. Okay, so there is a competency matrix, or it is called as an iceberg model. So what is that iceberg is going to do? I will just draw a figure of an iceberg so that you guys can understand. It is applicable to students as well as the teaching staff, because if you can understand what is visible and you can understand what is difficult, not invisible, what is difficult to visualize, then it will be easy. So I'll just draw an iceberg. So let's imagine this is an iceberg and this is a water line. So there are going to be two things. First is going to be skills which are visible, okay, and you have knowledge which is also visible. Okay, so these two are the visible things which can be taken care in event of an interview. Okay, so people can see skills using tool test, people can see knowledge using some question and answer and pragmatic answering and all these things, right? Self image, motive, and trait are the three things which are difficult to see. Are they invisible? No. I'm sorry. The person who wants to see a self-image of a of other person, or motive of the other person, or a trait of the other person, he has to dig little down. That means he has to go underwater and check what is there. Are you getting the point? Okay, so this is applicable to every single human being. So don't judge people based on knowledge and skills only. Knowledge and skills can be upgraded. You can make efforts and upgrade. Motive, self-image, and trait is more related to environmental effects on the human being. So I'll give you 30 seconds, draw this diagram, and I will ask you as an assignment later after this session is over. It is a self assignment. Okay, so nobody is going to take a look at it. The assignment is you have to list down what is the knowledge which you have individually, what are the skills which you have individually, what is your motive, okay, what is the self image which you have in your mind, and what are the traits. Can you do that? So just type in CD, that means can do. Okay, I'm just making you making you aware of what is happening around you to prepare you for the new age of everything. You are trying to understand this, right? The shared mobility was at a very peak, and now they are also rethinking, realigning. Electric vehicles were at a juncture of getting into autonomous vehicles, which is even going to get boosted now. Okay, so you have to imagine a world 10 years from now, 5 years from now, and make sure that you are knowledgeable in a right direction, and make sure that you are skillful in right direction with a correct motive and an impressive self-image. Self-image is not for anyone else to see easily. Self-image is for your own self to see your own self in a better way. Are you getting it? So all are you done with this competency iceberg model? So what is this called? This is called as competency. This is not my model. Okay, I don't take any credit. This is not my model. This is everywhere, available everywhere on internet. It is just an understanding in a management perspective. So it is called as competency iceberg model. Fine. Is it clear, guys? Okay. So let's move on.
Wait.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Okay,
basically, a design thinking will have, yes. So thank you very much. Design thinking will be will have to take care of four important factors. How many? Four important factors. So there is iterations on virtual prototypes, which is a part of design thinking. Solution-based approach, alternative strategies, and redefining the problem. Okay, so in the center of design thinking is is the receiver. That means a guy who is for whom we are actually designing must be at the center stage. So what do you mean by virtual prototypes? Prototype is 1:1 working model. That's a prototype anywhere. So a prototype can be virtual in mechanical field, in electrical field, in computer sciences, everywhere. That is one part of design thinking. The other part is you are supposed to provide a solution. You should not be rigid with too many things. That's an important aspect about solution based approach. Okay, so you're supposed to provide a solution. You are not supposed to give whatever is available with you. Okay, you are supposed to provide a solution. You have to read. Okay, no problem, I will repeat. Yeah, I'll just repeat
Yes, yes.
myself. So design thinking is always supposed to be taken care with regards to the end user. Design thinking should not be in regards to the guy who is designing it. Okay, sometimes what happens is a customer is needing a solution, but because we have lines only design the things and we try to avoid what can be extra. Okay, and that is something which you have to always think about in design thinking. Now what is an advantage of this data, excessive data which we have? The advantage of excessive data is once we process data in a we get lot which are going to be alternate strategies. Okay, a lot of strategies which are going to be alternate strategies which are extremely important for customer to look into the future and to survive into the future. Okay, so there are simpler designs, but those designs, if they can be made in such a way that they are modular, they are upgradable, and all these things, I think it's all going to solve a problem with regards to the customer. Okay, so make sure that when you are thinking about designing something, you have to first think about the customer. That means to whom you are providing this design as a solution. Okay, so let's move forward. It helps us observe and develop empathy with the target. Let us imagine I am manufacturing a mobile phone. I am not the target user. The target user is, let's say I am a manufacturer of this mobile phone. I am not the target user. The target user is who is using the mobile phone. So a design guy, when he is doing a design thinking process, he has to think about the end user. He has to feel empathy with the end user. Are you getting it? So you can write it down. This is the extreme important part about design thinking. It helps us observe and develop empathy with the target user, not with the seller. Okay? It helps us observe.
Sir, you are not audible again. Hello. I think there is a connectivity problem at his end. Hello.
Just
Am
wait,
I
madam.
audible now?
Yes, yes.
Hello.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
sir.
You are audible, sir.
Am I audible now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, I switched my internet. I don't know what happened, but
So now
is
you
it
are
visible
audible.
also? My
Yes.
screen is visible.
Yes, sir. Your screen is also visible and you're audible also.
Okay, right. So design thinking, it is going to help and develop empathy with target user. Okay. So exceptional skills. Okay. So these are
Is he audible? Hello?
No, ma'am.
Nachiket sir?
त्याला फोन करून सांगायला पाहिजे.
Yes, sir. I told he is adjusting.
Hello?
Audible now, guys?
Yes, sir, you're
Just check.
audible.
Am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine.
Yes, sir.
So, is my screen visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So, this is something which you have to take it as design thinking is going to help us observe and develop empathy with the target user. So, any app you are developing, any product you are developing, you have to connect with an empathy. Empathy in the sense you have to be in the end user's shoe. Then only you are going to develop a good product. Okay, so this is something which is very much done in the defense field. Okay, so you must have observed that in defense departments or in defense manufacturing, the ex-servicemen are typically going to be part of a development team. Are you getting my point? So let's say I want to develop a communication satellite kind of thing. So what is going to happen? The guy who is going to assemble everything will have a control or the observation from the guy who actually used it on field. Okay, so that is something which is an empathy with the target user. Okay, so moving forward, we have design thinking with 5 steps. Okay, empathize, define. So define your users need, their problems and your insights. Ideate by challenging assumptions and creating ideas. Prototyping, that is to go to digital twins, which is our next topic, and then test the solutions. Okay, so can you take this down? Empathize, define, ideate, prototype and test the solution. Okay, type in done if you are done writing, so that I can understand am I audible or you have taken a note, both way. Done? Okay, sorry. Done, great. Okay, so yeah, great. So is my screen visible again?
I think it's uploading, sir.
Yeah, it's lost the connection. Is it visible now? No. Okay.
No, sir.
Wait.
No.
Wait. I will do it. So it takes a time. Yeah. So I'm sharing my screen. Okay. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now it is visible.
Go to the next topic, which is digital twin. which is going to be future of any kind of design. Okay, so digital twin can be applicable to various aspects of our life. It's not just about product. It can be a process which is having a digital twin. It can be a living thing which can be having its own digital twin. It can be a product which will have its own digital twin. Okay, and it can be place also. So Singapore has a complete digital twin city of its own. Okay, so where you can have, let's say somebody wants to develop an autonomous vehicle and they have a digital twin model of Singapore. I think it will be a fantastic thing to do because they don't have to go out right now just to make sure that you have to map it out. Getting my point? So digital twin is applicable to processes, living things, products, places, and n number of things. So digital twin always relies on what? It relies on data. Okay, so if you have a correct set of data, the digital twin will function exactly as that will function in a physical prototype. So as I said, I am a crash analysis guy since 2005. So I'm working on various crash analysis models. Okay, so this is something which we are using since many years. Okay, it's not just a new thing which came right now. Since almost year 1995, CAE industry, computer-aided engineering industry, is using digital twin models to simulate a physical test.
I think he got disconnected again. Hello.
Madam, I think he has got disconnected.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He got disconnected. What to do now, sir?
Can we go with the second topper? He is back, sir. Madam, Trupti madam, he is back.
Yes, sir. I could not see him. Yes, he is back. He is there. Yes, sir.
Please go ahead.
Yes. Go ahead, sir. We can see your video.
Unmute. Madam, ask him to unmute.
Okay, so digital twin, we are as a crash analysis guy, we are using these digital twins since almost 1995. Is it gone again?
No, it is there.
It is there, sir.
Is it there, right? Okay, fine. So these physical products, you can see, I'll just explain you. This guy is sitting here in a wooden form is not a digital twin because it was just a crude representation of a human being for earlier crash test dummies. This is not a digital twin because it is not having sufficient amount of data which will represent a physical product. Okay, making sense? So this is something which is a physical product. Okay, and now above this, that means above this hybrid 3 dummy, there is going to be a human being like you and me. Okay, so we are actually talking about a living thing which is getting converted into a physical form and which is even getting converted into a digital form. Okay, so this is called as a digital twin. So digital twin will always have huge amount of data going into it so as to make sure that when you do a virtual prototyping, you are very close to the physical results. Getting my point? So are you understanding what is a digital twin? It's very simple, but it needs meticulous work with regards to gathering the data. Okay, so I'll just give you a simple example. You can see ribs here. So these ribs are not just made of any material. What they do typically, the guys will have some body which is donated by the passing by person, and what is going to happen? There is going to be slices of the body which are going to get created to measure stiffnesses. at every single cross section, and those cross sectional stiffnesses are going to be put in a digital twin as well as in a physical product. So these crash test dummies are very accurate to represent what are the injuries, what is the acceleration, what is the thorax acceleration, head acceleration, and the digital twins are equally accurate. Getting my point? So we have physical product. This is also a physical product. This is not a product which is supposed to be a digital twin. This is not a product. So I'll just crop this. Okay, so this is not the product which we are thinking to convert into a digital twin. Yeah, here you go. So this guy is not supposed to be converted into a digital twin. This guy needs to be converted into a form of digital twin. Are you getting it? Okay. So what are the learning skills for students and staff to move forward for a digital design thinking and digital twin stuff? Any student, any staff, even including me, everyone needs to have these basic skills which are always going to help everyone to progress in the career or to make yourself future ready. Okay, so first important skill which is lacking is observation skill, because we only observe in a 2D manner on our computer or mobile screens. We never observe in a real world. Okay, so make a habit of observing products, observing things in a real world. You have to increase your ability to ask questions. Questions can be foolish questions. Don't worry, somebody will laugh, that's okay. They are not enough capable of understanding a thinking process in your brain because you are asking a question. Okay, so even if it's a foolish question, don't bother, ask questions. That is why you are here. Okay, ability to self correct. Okay, so when you have some kind of a deviation, you have to have an ability to correct yourself by looking at various data fields. Okay, communication in any form, so it can be written, verbal, email, whatever it is, but you have to improve your communication skills. Digital literacy, how the computers work, what are the various basic tools which are important to present yourself or to understand somebody who is presenting. Then you have to have an in-depth knowledge of basics of physics. It can be computer science, it can be civil engineering, it can be mechanical engineering, doesn't matter. Physics is the backbone of any engineer. You have to make sure you are connected to physics all the time. Mathematically competent thinking. So you have to make yourself aware about what is a derivative, what is an integration, why we are doing it. Okay, what is a log, why we need logarithmic scales, what is an important of percentage, percentile. All these basic mathematical competencies are really very important. And the last important thing which you should never ever forget is logical thinking. Okay, so logic is the key of any engineer to make a progress. Getting it? So if you want to enhance your step or enhance your career in design thinking and using digital twins, you must have these skills with you, minimum skills with you. Okay, is it making sense? Was that helpful? I had a lot of problems in connecting, I don't know why, but this is something which I wanted to present to you guys. Okay, so is it making sense? It's making sense, right? Now, do you have any questions?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I'm ready for questions. Any questions you have?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thanks
Sir,
for feedback. Thanks for feedback. Yes, madam. One
thank
madam.
you. Yes, thank you, sir. Thank you for letting us understand design thinking and digital twin. This will definitely help us improving observation skills in 360 degree. And really, brains are not digital, so लिहाल तर वाचाल.
Yeah, you have to, you have to. So you have
Yes,
to
sir.
always have a habit of taking notes and make sure that you are carrying some kind of pen and paper with you whenever you enter into a meeting room. So don't just
Yes,
go bare hand; it will just ruin your life. Okay? Make sure that you're there.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
So we'll move forward towards the question, sir.
Yes.
Question from Ranjit Ketan. Can we also use digital twins in medical and surgery field?
Yes, you can. So basically, it is augmented reality and virtual reality, where you can create a quick digital twin of the person. Maybe you can keep him in observation. So there are too many researches going on in India also about robotic surgery, about converting a person into a digital twin permanently, so that doctors can observe him keenly. But too much of a technology rather than healing the person will typically kill the person. So make sure that you are fit and healthy in a natural way, okay, and so that you don't go into this kind of a dilemma.
Yes, sir. And sir, we have one more question from faculty side.
Yes.
This is Smita Pataskar asked this question. How digital twins are applicable to teaching field?
Yes. So now this is really something which I tried to search once I got a call from Kulkarni sir. My thought about this I will just clear in 2 minutes. The first important aspect is uh, teachers are always supposed to be the highest form of learners. Okay, so that what do I mean by this? Even if I have a training institute, I still have my organization where I have my associates working with me, but I'm not going to stop my learning ability because I'm a teacher. Okay, so teacher must always increase their potential difference so that they are delivering in a better way. Now, to help that, the first important aspect is what is the current process you are following to teach or to upgrade students' knowledge and skills. Okay, that is the first basic step of converting a product or service into a digital twin. First of all, you have to map your own process. So let's say the process is very simple. Students are coming in, they are sitting in a classroom, somebody is delivering this session, they are taking some notes, and then you have some kind of, let's say, some kind of a test or measurement or a system where you measure ability of students to learn. At the same time, we measure ability of teacher to teach. That's going to be a rudimentary process which is in place right now. What can happen? In a digital twin, you can convert this complete process using data, that okay, there were 60 students in last year's class. Now also there are 60 students. Out of those 60, this is what happened when we taught in this way. This is what happened to the test result when we taught in this way. This becomes a digital model. As I said, any digital twin needs a huge amount of data. You just cannot convert any single entity into a digital twin in a first day because it will just fail. It has to do a machine learning. It has to apply some artificial intelligence. Then only you get a digital twin which this is proven. So there are many companies, FTS twin. So it becomes some 9.9 multiplied by 0.9. So it becomes a 0.81 accuracy, kind of that. Okay. So basically it is 81%, 85% accuracy, which is good to move forward because you still have factor of safety and all these things.
Yes, sir. I think it is clear. Thank you so much, sir, for being with us. It's indeed pleasure to listen to both the things, and we really enjoyed the interactive presentation as well as the session. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, so I will be sharing this presentation anyway. You
Yes,
can
sir.
you can share this with your students also.
Yes, sir. Surely, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you
So,
very much, guys.
thank you, sir. I hand over the charge to principal, sir. Do we have principal, sir? Hello.
Trupti,